Are you satisfied, Minister, that all of the EU funding opportunities are availed of so that rural Ireland can fulfil its true potential?
Yes, I am, but I know that Minister Ring is working very hard to see us make more advantage of what is available to us and ensure that his own department are drawing down all funds that are available on the times that they are meant to do. And I know he's had a lot of engagement with local authorities in relation to this to ensure that funding that is available is drawn down. So it is an issue of priority for Minister Ring, and I support him in his efforts through the Department of Public Expenditure.
Have you ever looked at any given year, any given period, to see how much hasn't been drawn down that could have been drawn down?
You know, I don't have the figures, but I am aware of the track record in relation to it.
So could you give the figures to this committee in terms of what hasn't been drawn down?
I can't now because I don't have them available to me. But if those figures are available, I mean, it is the Department of Community and Rural Affairs that should have them, but we can get them if they're available and send them to you.
Yeah, and I'll just finish on this, Minister. I think our major concern is that while you may look at the economy in terms of being full employment and charging ahead, the regions are being left behind. And I think the main focus of these funds needs to be rural Ireland and needs to be the regions in the development of infrastructure and the investment of infrastructure. So whether that be broadband, be Knock Airport, and other infrastructure within the regions, it needs to be done. And you know it makes economic sense because then we have the multiplier effect and all of that. And I firmly believe that the best way of combating any external shock is to have that investment in the regions, in our telecommunications and in our infrastructure there. I think that's what will see us through the next storm, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, where I agree with you on, as I did with Deputy Doherty, is I do believe that public capital investment is an essential part of what a resilient economy looks like. And as part of that, a core part of it is ensuring that that capital investment is allocated efficiently, effectively and fairly across the entire country. But if I look at the different points that you've referred to, like Knock Airport, I only saw in the last number of weeks Knock Airport receiving additional funding. Over the last number of days, I've seen Minister Minister Ring made a number of decisions in relation to the allocation of funding for the towns across the length and breadth of Ireland. And only the week before last, we put in place a €1 billion fund whose main job it is to support towns with less than 10,000 people within it. So where I agree with you on is that these are things that we want to make more progress on than we were able to in the past when the country was in such difficulty. Where I would differ with you on is that we are putting in place those instruments and tools now, and I see them being used. I see them being drawn down.
So, Minister, and I know what you're saying, but it really begs the question that there are areas within the county I come from myself that don't have proper drinking water, that don't have broadband, that cannot make a mobile phone call, that don't have investment in the roads that have waited decades and decades, roads like the R312. And I don't want to get into specifics, but you see the moving around of money and the announcement after the announcement isn't delivering in the way that we need to deliver it and the urgency around it. And we need to know in rural Ireland that every opportunity to draw down EU funding, that the government will match that with funds, not just announcements into the future, but they will draw that down, and that we will have the connectivity there that we need. Sure. You know, we are worth it, and that it is not, the decisions are not population-led.
Sure. You represent County of Mayo, isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I am aware of the difficulties you're referring to. Of course, if your party hadn't been so irresponsible in relation to water policy, maybe we might be a bit better advanced than we are now on the matter. I'm also aware. I'm just finishing off the point. You put a question to me.
Okay, I'll finish the question.
No, I just want to answer. I want to answer your question.
Condescending answers.
No,
that really doesn't serve the people of the west of Ireland.
No, it's not meant to be.
I'm glad you're so smug about it.
I'm not meant to be. I'm not looking to be condescending at all. I'm well aware of the difficulties that you are referring to. I said I am. What I did in the early part of my answer is point to the progress that we have made in challenges that are there. I am making the point, though, that I do find it ironic, and I do find it, something we have to think about here, that, we are making funds available for Mayo, for many, many parts of Ireland, and that is happening. That's underway. Now, we do need to do more in relation to it, Senator, but all I'm asking you to take account of is funds that have been announced and progress that has been made. More needs to be done, and it does. But as I said, I just look at the work that Minister Ring is doing in that area, and it is immense. When I put forward my side of the argument, Senator, it's not me being smug any more than it is when Deputy Doherty accuses me of, not caring about what is happening. But there is another side to the story, Senator, and I have a duty to put it forward, just as you have a duty to put your side of the story forward.
And I'm living in the story. And I mean, if we look even at the LEADER funding, we know that LEADER in Mayo alone was 9 million less than it was in the previous programme, between 9 and 12 million. So, okay, let's just finish it at that. We know, somebody knows if they can't send an email because they don't have broadband, they can't make a telephone call, and they don't have the services that they need in rural Ireland. I really think that maybe even more than you and I, they are the best judge of performance.
And on that point, I agree with you. Everybody should have access to the kind of services that you are referring to, whether it be access to a decent road, and I know the pressures that our rural road network has been under. I hope with the improved weather that local authorities will now be in a position to spend all of the additional money that was made available to them. Everybody should have access to the ability to make a phone call. That goes without saying. But Senator, you have the right to put forward your case of the story in relation to the deficiencies that are there. I simply ask that you don't deny me the same right too.
I won't, Minister.
Thank you.